Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Market cap on the rise, 346 billion. And having the same sort of action going on. So I'm going to touch on two things that are happening recently that lead me to my current predictions. All right, as you can see, you got these pretty much these weird Batman heads, these weird Bart Simpson heads. We're going to turn back the good old days of the Batman heads. That was with just natural, good old organic flow, right? But these are Bart Simpson heads. These are weird. They're still going on. This is the 7-day. You see these sharp dumps followed by accumulating, followed by pump, accumulation, dump, accumulation, pump. Keeps happening. Weird 666 thing going on. If this thing was to like break through 8,000 tomorrow, that would be, go look at just type in Bitcoin 666 chart. It's pretty weird. Strange things are going on, right? I don't know what the hell's going on I do. In the end of the day, like, I don't know what their game is, like, with all this weird shit. If you're talking 666 and all that, I don't give a fuck about that. What I do understand is, people are playing ping pong. They're bouncing it back and forth. They're accumulating the hell out of it. And what am I noticing? Lots of bullish news, but the market is not responding. China coming out saying blockchain is 10x better than the internet. You have all of these VC funds, all these big people talking about, this George Soros, all these people getting into crypto. You're starting to see places actually make cryptocurrency legal tender. Just the good news has been piling on. Even the SEC's having a more relaxed view. You got the ETFs on the horizon. You got people who are going to be acting as storage, right? ICE and all these big players and NASDAQ, all these players coming in. And what's interesting? I've been noticing in my over-the-counter groups and just in general from the little birds that I listen to, it's very, very hard right now to sell $10,000 worth of Bitcoin on the over-the-counter market. I wouldn't say very, very hard, but it's a lot harder than it used to be. It's surprisingly hard, which doesn't make a lot of sense at first. But then I'm hearing and I'm seeing that the big over-the-counter market, it's easier right now to sell and buy $10 million worth of Bitcoin than it is to buy or sell $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. So it's easier to sell $1 million right now worth of Bitcoin than it is $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. And when you ask yourself why, what's happening, the people who aren't in the know or people who are being shaken by this action, the day traders are just getting wrecked. If you're not just a crocodile Dundee motherfucker just going out there really just scalping the game, you're getting wrecked right now. And then you're going to get smart and you're going to think the 666 thing makes sense and you're going to try to make a big play and you're going to get wrecked. This is what happens. A lot of weird shit's going on, a lot of money. You can look at this. This isn't natural at all. I don't care you can't, just look at it. It's obvious people are accumulating the shit out of it and they're keeping it in this bracket. And the triangle is getting, you have your big triangles, it's getting smaller and smaller. The dips, let's go ahead and look at the auto log scale. It's easier to see auto log scale here. All right, you can kind of see, had the big pump, crashed real hard, pump, crash, but it's getting smaller and smaller, more and more wound up. So usually means somebody, if you can envision a hand strangling it, right, and trying to keep it in this channel for as long as possible. Because what did I say? It's very hard to get billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin without pumping the price dramatically. So you have to do some kind of weird fucking game where you're in systematic pump and dumps and just controlling the price. And the more people panic, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to wreck the game where people get tired and they just say, fuck this, and they sell. That's what they're trying to do. It's what, this is the only way. And the more this goes on, the more tired the traders get, the more the traders sell, the weak hands sell, the stronger these guys get, because then they have more capital, more Bitcoin to mess around with. Where is this all leading? Is this going to be a huge pop, or it's going to be a huge, my gut's telling me there's going to be a pop just with all this crazy news going on. Anytime there's very bullish news, Hard to sell little bits, easier to sell large amounts. It means that big players are getting into the game. And if big players are getting into the game, they don't want to pay $20,000 for the Bitcoin. They want to get it for as cheap as possible. Without ruining the game. Keep in mind that Bitcoin costs about $6,000 to mine right now. You don't want to crash if you want to accumulate a lot of Bitcoin because you think it's going to go up in the future value. And when I mean a lot, I'm talking about billions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. You don't want to crash it down to 5,000 because then the miners will fuck off and then the security goes to shit and then you fucked up the game. So in a way, it's been weird because it's been bouncing a little bit above where it's 1 for 1, where you mine it and you just get your money back, because miners are still going to be willing to do that, take those short-term losses or short-term break-evens because in hopes that Bitcoin will go back up, right? They have all this equipment. If Bitcoin was to go down, it's worthless. So that's what I've been noticing, just little conspiracy theories here and there. People ask me, I'm going to keep this video short. There's a bunch of construction going on. People just ask me, Dan, what are you buying right now? What's going on? If you really think that the market is an accumulation period and it's being held down, what are you buying? Right now, I'm not buying anything. I haven't been buying anything. I've already said my bags are pretty much packed. The last move I made, I told you guys it was wax. There is an ICO I'm looking at. I'll let you know more about that. ICOs are fucking unicorns to me nowadays. Very, very hard. Unless it's just one of those ones where you already know where the whitelist is fucking done a year before, right? But I really like to find those fixer-uppers, those ones that can really, that's what I like. It's not all about money to me. I also like helping and creating. I like, I like being able to see my ideas help something. I don't know, it's cool. It's like, if you're a kid, you like building Legos together, build a little castle. I think it's cool being able to help build businesses. I, by no means, build them by myself, but I like knowing that I'm one of those Legos, right? Helping support the castle. So what am I buying right now if I was going to buy something? So that would be the question then people would be asking. So if we're talking 5 coins, it's probably meaning, around a 6-figure bankroll. Obviously, if you have less, you can watch my videos. I don't want to break it down. The less money in my book, the less money you have, the less coins you have. The less diversified you want to be. The more money you have, the more diversified you want to be. Just how I always feel. It's the rocket analogy, the firework analogy. The firework doesn't bust down here. It's very skinny. You barely see it, and then boom, you see the diversification up here. But it wasn't diversified on the way up. Top 5, pretty easy. If I was gonna have 5 coins, I'd obviously have one that was very liquid. Top 5, already it's going to be EOS. If it wasn't going to be EOS, if I had to force to pick another one, the funny thing is it would be a fight between Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum. The reason it would be Bitcoin Cash would be my second choice, right? EOS would be my first, is because of all right. So they have a temporary fix and they have a lot of marketing. And they're getting into a lot of merchants. So the longer Lightning Network takes, whether you believe in this as a long-term fix or not, it doesn't matter. The market doesn't look at the future. The market looks at what can you do for me right now. So that's my prediction. That's where my money would be if you're talking, just if it isn't a long-term, super long-term hold. Although I'm not, I'm bullish Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, short-term and long-term. I don't know which one's going to win. So it's in Ethereum, obviously. My biggest holding is EOS, but I have a shit ton of Ethereum because I know that you don't count it out. They're two different things. So is Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, trying to accomplish two different things. So I would that would be one of my top 5s. If I was going to, I would then pick a mid-cap coin, 2 mid-cap coins, 2 mid-cap. I'm freestyling this. It would have to be Civicwood, obviously, when it pops out. If I'm talking mid-cap coins, the exchanges Civic is on for the price reflection is sort of ridiculous. Very, very hard. You can't see too many market cap. Show me some 100 mil market cap coins that have Binance, OKX with a USDT listing, Huobi with a USDT listing, Bittrex, Upbit, Gate.io with the USDT pairing. Even got old school Poloniex, KuCoin. The exchanges and Binance was one of the Achilles heels of Civic that kept it around 5 to 6 mil, in a bear market. starting to pick up now, but with 10 mil 24-hour volume, if they can get a Binance UST listing, which isn't out of the question, I just think that, obviously people know I'm bullish on Civic. Long term, I think it could be one of the killer apps that brings blockchain into to the mainstream. But just from a fundamental standpoint, the exchanges are too strong. The volume is too strong. Anytime you can get, the volume to be around 10x the market cap, less than 10x the market cap, that's anywhere in that is really good. If you were to get 20, and its average volume has been 15 to 20 million. So anytime you can get around 100 mil market cap and you can get, within 5x of the volume, it's always very, it's a bullish sign for me usually. If you believe, if it's not some kind of hype game, if you actually believe in the fundamentals. Although, these have been long term, these have been dragging. It had its moon, but these coins, same with the basic attention token. It's a difficult spot right here between basic attention token and wax for my mid caps. If I was going to pick, the only reason is because one day we're going to wake up and basic attention token is going to be like on Coinbase and it's going to be paying people to watch ads. What happened with Golem when Golem's project finally came out and people could actually get paid for sharing computer resources and the price just kept going up and up consistently, even in the bear market. I think that's going to happen with basic attention token once the killer app is released for this product where people are actually using it. Because I know a lot of people that will get paid, that will keep those ads on just to get some money. I think it's just going to keep going up and up and up. Wax is about to release their digital marketplace for selling goods, and it got kicked really hard recently. So, I'm going to keep this video a little shorter. I would go with Wax. Very close decision, though. Yeah, very close decision just because it had this killer drop off. So, yeah, I would, keep that in mind. Wax would be the second. So, my first cap coin, my first coin would be EOS. My next two would be My next two would be Wax and Civic. Freaking construction guys have me twisting my tongue. And then the last one would be two small caps, which very difficult to choose from right now because I already know the three that are going to be fighting. I believe Spective is a pretty clear-cut winner. Had the boost up and just been sort of in this accumulation phase, and now you're starting to see the volume pick up. I know a lot of things that are bubbling behind the surface at just, below ICO price. Lots of big things coming out. I'm a big believer in VR. I know a lot of people think VR. It was funny. I was listening to Gary Vee the other day, and I was saying, like, remember when delivery of groceries, when people knew, like 20 years ago, it's like, oh, you can get groceries delivered to your home. And it was right around the corner, and it took like 20 years. I think that was the same thing with VR. Remember, because VR is not new. Like, it's been around for a while, and it's been around the corner for a long time. Well, people, when they hear that shit over and over again, then they're just like, oh, yeah, I've heard that around the corner. And then eventually it is around the corner. And then it happens. And then when VR takes over, go look at some AR videos, some VR videos. I don't know. Like, once I saw it for the first time, I knew it was the future. So I can go down the rabbit hole in VR. But and one of my friends said, hey, man, I have 2 coins I want to invest in. What would you invest in? I told him Vibe and Spect. I said Vibe was doing really cheap, and a lot of big news coming out for them. And then Spective was super cheap. So, and he got in way back here. I just think that VR is highly underrated. Man, and the next two is going to be a fight between either No Limit Coin or ONG. I think ONG is just so rock bottom right now. The volume is very low. That's the only dangerous thing when it comes to getting a small cap coin. But if you're talking about fixer uppers, this looks like a nice little plot on the land, has like a little shack on it, but it has a nice foundation. You just got to go wipe that shack off. And now, I can see the new construction being built, and people don't pay for anything until it's fully built, right? So that's where I've been into real estate. I've been actually studying a lot of real estate. If you go in and go for the pretty houses, you're going to pay a premium, right? But if you can actually have vision, right? If you have vision, you can see the plot of land, you can see where it's going. If you can see it being built and you have belief that they can finish, then you can think, hey, what are finished products around this area with this type of product? What do they go for? And I really just think that they've been playing dead with the marketing. Keep in mind, it's just a small ICO. I don't really like go after overhyped ICOs. I don't know. It's very hard. I never really made much money doing it. I know people who have. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that the smaller ones always work for me. The more you count them out, the more bullish I am on them. If I've done my research and I really know, hey man, these guys aren't giving up. And blockchain's going to be, if it gets to be like the .com bubble where any business was thrown millions of dollars and given tons of attention when it really took over, because I really don't think we've seen shit when it comes to mass adoption. We're talking trillions for the .com bubble. I think we're going to dwarf the .com bubble because the blockchain bubble is going to be absolutely massive. You have every leader in the world talking about how amazing it's going to be. It's only a matter of time before it just gets blown way out of control. Talking super, super out of control. Trillions upon trillions. And when that happens, when you have products that are legit with strong teams who've been out here building on the beachfront, I just think that those are going to be the most valuable properties. And then No Limit Coin, I'm always bullish on No Limit Coin. I don't even want to say anything else. Just go listen to In It For The Money's review. He did like the best fucking review I've ever seen, pretty much of any coin. I mean, he just absolutely mic drop killed it. So I really, I'll have the link below. Just if you don't know about No Limit Coin, listen to In It For The Money's video. Absolutely destroys it. Don't even need to say much else about that. So those would be, it'd be a toss-up between, Spective. For my last 2 coins, if we're talking 5 coins I was going to invest in, it'd be Spective, ONG, NLC, flip a coin. That's what I would do. Honestly, that's probably what I would do. If I really, 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 really had to pick. I mean, it's just very tough, right? Because ONG, I believe, obviously has more potential in terms of how many times it can X over. However, No Limit Coin's a lot further along in terms of working product development, steamroll, lots of things in the work, volumes picking up. So you got your the two things. If I was really looking, if I had big aspirations and really big goals, and I wanted to be on the right conveyor belt, then I would go for the longer shots. That's how I've always been. I took the longest shots when I first started out because I had high aspirations. If I just wanted to be cool, make some money, lock it away, be more, on the stable side, not really looking to be, Bill Gates, then, I'd probably take the more stable approach. But yeah, I'm going to kill here. These construction people are killing my ears. So, my bad if you had to endure that. But yeah, just wrapping it up right now, I would say with this crazy action, look for the weird 6. I'm anxious to see what happens, right? Because tomorrow's the 6th. Let's see if this thing breaks above 8. That'd be very strange if it did. Where is this price going to go? The only thing I can say is it costs $6,000 to mine 1 Bitcoin. Whatever's happening in my heart of hearts, I believe, is accumulation / manipulation to keep it in a bracket. It's not the first time I've seen something like this. It's ironic that it's being kept right above that mining threshold. So I would, that could almost be a bottom for you. There's not much you can grasp on. These are all straws, but if you had to actually have something in foundation, something firm, you could say, well, that makes sense. Through all this bullshit, through all these vicious dumps, it hasn't been below the mining operation costs. And there's a lot of weird accumulation going on, billions and billions of dollars. That's not cheap. To do this isn't cheap at all. It's lots of money. People see that lots of money are coming in. Boom. Even to do this isn't cheap because someone's buying that dump. And then boom, they hit a fucking rock bottom right above the mining cost. Just keep that in mind when you're talking about, what's going on in the future. Yeah, that's the trail I'm on. Kill it here. Cheers. Peace.